with throat infection, so you might have to bear with me for that. Okay. So myself, Arun, I am having around 6 years of experience in backend development.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly work with product-based companies, so they have a product in various domains, and I've more extensively used because products were already built, so I was involved in more of enhancement role. So my role mainly into core Java I've used more extensively. Apart from that, I've also used framework like Spring Boot as well, but more extensively I've used core Java and collections from these main fundamentals and OOPS paradigms. So and also use databases as well, like MySQL and Oracle.
Okay. So now you are comfortable in which stack like that core Java or Spring Boot,
So
Hibernate,
core Java
or
is more
databases.
core Java is more extensively I've used. Also
Okay.
used.
Okay. So you know about Spring Boot and JPA also, right?
Yep.
Okay. So my first question is that you know about permanent generation and meta-space memory?
Yep.
Familiar?
PermGen and
Yeah.
yep.
Hmm. Can you tell about that?
I'm not very sure. Prior to, uh, I'm not very specifically. I know in terms of some specific thing. I know that permanent gen space memory has been we are using meta space. Usually, suppose I'm having a
No, you
suppose I'm
just to give one line answer. I'm not asking detail.
okay,
What
okay. Let's
differences
let's
is
say
there? Yes.
okay, let's say suppose I'm creating some object or creating some static data. So
Mm-hmm.
those data basically getting stored in meta space. Usually when we create object, those data goes in heap space.
Mm-hmm.
So the data which is not related to objects, those data is going into heap space, meta space basically.
Okay.
And I think maybe this perm gens it is something with some files or something that might be getting stored in perm gen space. I'm not very sure on that point.
Okay. JVM is a independent or dependent.
JVM is independent. Basically, I mean, JVM is using dot class file, so it is independent basically, but it is not
JVM is independent, right?
right.
How?
Because it is using dot class file. When we say we have
No, no, dear, no, dear. JDK, JRE are independent means not embedded with the any operating system. But
no,
as
no, I
of
mean
now,
no, my your question is independent means on what basis? Because
no,
we
no, no.
say
I asked to you, JVM is independent or dependent?
because when we say JVM we need I mean only in terms of JVM if you are talking about while
I'm
I mean
talking about
what
JVM only. I'm not asking about the other
no,
things.
that's what in what terms you mean it is independent. This is what my question is.
This is JBM, JBM is a software. Okay. So this is independent. Why I'm telling without JBM not embedded with any packages of Java,
Operating system. Right,
right?
right,
So
right,
this because of
right.
initially when Java is started, no operating system was have JBM. So in that time, Microsoft has some work with the other operating systems. So now, as of now, if you have Ubuntu, Linux, and Windows, every machines have by default JVM installed.
Mm-hmm.
How do you verify? You just write inside the command, you Java only. You get the detail without installing uh, JDK or JRE. You
Mm-hmm.
get the answer. That's why I tell you means JVM is independent, dependent or dependent.
No, no. I mean, I was in the context of a platform independency because Java is platform
No,
dependent. Yeah.
platform dependent. Platform dependent also platform dependent. JVM only. I'm not talking about JRE and JDK.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is telling Java is a platform independent or dependent, so in that scenario, Java is a platform independent. But I
Right.
am asking the specific question related to JVM.
I missed. I mean, I missed that one. Only dependency on JVM. So I thought you
Oh,
might have to say Java.
okay, no problem, no problem. So you know about serialization and deserialization.
Yes.
So serialized interface is a marker interface or any other type of interface.
Serializer interface is not, I guess. It is a marker interface.
Marker interface. Okay.
Yes.
So suppose I want to serialize and deserialize any object. So how do you implement what kind of object you will take it?
Okay.
Method.
So okay. So when we have to serialize some output stream and input stream we are using while serializing and while deserializing. Internal methods I don't remember exactly because I've used this
Sometimes
serialization.
read object, write object,
Sorry.
read object, write object.
Right. We were using those read object and write object while doing that. So
Input object, stream input object, stream output
input
object.
stream, yeah, input stream of object and output stream. Yep, yeah, that's what I'm not able to exactly recall the names, but it is something
But
that.
you know, I remember about that. So you have done.
No, no. I mean, I've used this serialization,
So
deserialization, but
you
it was
you
long
have
back. So
done MTech also, right?
yes,
You done from which?
VJTI.
Where this is Mumbai?
Yes,
Okay, so you from Pune, right?
yes.
Okay, dear. So, um, so you know about Hashmap and
Yes.
concurrent Hashmap?
Yes.
Yeah, please tell.
Hashmap is something where we basically store the data in the form of key value pair, and concurrent hashmap is also on the similar lines. When we say on the hashmap, we while iterating, we are if we are suppose doing multiple operations, while modification also we are doing. In that case, we will get a concurrent modification exception in case of hashmap. But where in case of concurrent hashmap, we can do concurrent things because word itself says that we can do concurrent things. So in that case, we won't get concurrent modification exception.
Concurrent modification. So, just 1 minute. Suppose I will ask one question related to one collection. Okay. So
Okay.
in collection framework, you know about linked list.
Yes.
So can you tell about, okay, I can change it. You know about the hash map, right?
Yes.
So internally, how it is work? Internal flow of working of that
Okay.
hash map. Can you
Okay.
elaborate about that?
Yep, yep. So basically, when we say hash, when we deal with any of the hash-based collection, very two methods are very important. First one is equals, and second one is hash code method.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we are putting the data in the hash map or getting the data from the hash map, those two methods plays very important role. So suppose I have a hash map where I'm putting some integer number in the map, or some string as a key and some other string as a value. So suppose I'm putting my name as a key and my address or my city as a corresponding value. So when I'm putting it map dot put that value, what happens internally? We are calculating hash. So based on that hash code, when that hash value is calculated, and based on that hash value, so it each object is having unique hash values. Suppose I'm putting Arun, I'm putting some other value. Each value is giving based on that hash value, the bucket is getting calculated. So when the bucket is getting calculated, suppose it goes into bucket 1, so it again checks for equals method whether that key equals is present in that bucket or not. If that key is already present in the same bucket and I'm putting corresponding value, so it is not going to insert new same key again with new value, but it is going to override the corresponding value of it. Suppose Arun was already there in the map, and then in that case, what it will do, it will just override the value. It won't insert new corresponding entry. So same case when I'm getting the value, so map dot get some value. So that time as well, it basically gets the hash code. Based on that hash code, calculates the bucket, and then it checks for that equals, whether this map dot get that equals value is there, and get corresponding value of it. Suppose if I'm saying map dot get Arun, so and corresponding value is suppose Pune, so I'll getting Pune as a return value from this. So basically that way
Okay.
hash based
Okay.
collection.
So you know about eager loading and
Easy
lazy
loading.
loading.
Yes.
How it is work? Can you give the example?
Okay, okay. So when we say eager loading, I mean at the time of suppose let's take an example. We are using suppose Java 8 feature suppose,
Mm-hmm.
and in that Java 8 features we have some intermediate operations, and those things are basically lazy loading features where actually those things were not I mean are not there at the time. I mean, they're loaded at, and we would say it is a lazy loading way. And when we want to talk about eager loading, so suppose we let's take an example where we are using some other let's take an example. We have some normal collection and or some object we are passing. So those cases we would say it is eager loading. So those intermediate operations where we use things and there is no termination operation. In that cases, it is kind of lazy loading feature. So basically, uh, uh, main difference between easy loading and eager loading and lazy loading is it I mean, it is when we say eager loading, it would be available at the time of running it. So let's take an example. We would say increment. When we increment the values, it increments the values immediately. When we say I plus plus, oh sorry, plus plus I. So when we say I plus plus, that times it increments, and it doesn't give that value at the same place. It is kind of lazy loading way. We would say I plus plus, and plus plus I is kind of eager loading way.
No, I think you are giving some iterator functionality related examples, right? So this is not eager and lazy loading is a general concept. If you go with the initialization process, initialization process means you have a class. If you want to create the object, right? Create the object, that would be a lazy initialization. Eager initialization, whenever your variable and methods directly store in stack, that call be a eager loading.
Eager loading is directly. I didn't get you eager loading point.
Your all class label variable and methods is a part of eager loading. Okay?
Okay.
Why I am telling? Because of class label will not call through the any particular object.
Right. Right.
This is the name of class and the name of variables or method.
Mainly,
This is the eager.
talking about
So
static
static,
data members or static
yeah.
methods are eager loaded, and those are which are related to objects. They are easy lazy loaded.
Eager loading have advantage and disadvantage. Advantage is
They are available before.
this
I
will
mean, at
not
time of
give
class loading.
exception possibilities is less comparison to lazy loading.
Right.
Because of they are directly call in the stack, that's why exceptions can only give the logical label, means your logic is something wrong, then it will give the exception. If you can control it, you can control it. But eager loading, you object initialization and other things, if some kind of things you have missed, so possibilities are matched to generate the exceptions. So next question, what kind of exception? What type of exception?
There are mainly checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions are there.
So can you give the example of checked exception?
When we say checked exceptions, there might be some.
Just you give the programmatical example. I can
Yes,
understand
yes,
about that.
yes, yes. So let's suppose I am having some. I'm reading some data from some file,
Hmm.
and there might be the possibility that while reading that file, the file itself is not there. So in that case, I can handle that before it occurring. So I can use some try catch block and say that it might cause exception that file is not there. So in that case, we will say file not found exception. It is kind of some checked exception.
No,
So when suppose.
so no. You giving example right now. You giving example of runtime, right?
Mm,
Compile
mm,
time is that suppose you without try and catch, without you writing the code without try and catch. In that scenario, compiler will give the error and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
ultimate.
mean, if I'm just using for reading the file and without
For
not using try catch, in that case.
you telling file not found is a check deception. This is not a check deception.
No, no, no. I mean, this is what I just wanted to say, because while reading file, that while I mean, ID is a very intelligent, that it is going to say that either use try catch block or use throws exception, because this might give us that kind of error. So that's the reason I put that point.
Okay, got it.
And when we say runtime exception,
Okay,
so
got it.
when we,
Sufficient. Not a problem.
okay, okay,
Um for example, Spring Boot.
yes.
So my first question: how to create a Spring Boot application?
When we are creating Spring Boot application, we are basically using the dependencies of we are mentioning Spring Boot starter dependencies, Spring Boot web dependencies, and those.
No. You just you take means means what my intention? My intention is that you want to create uh, application through any specific initializer tool or any.
Spring IO initializer we're using.
Yes, these
Uh,
things I am asking. These things I am asking.
okay, okay,
I am
okay.
not telling you dependency or something. If you are using initializer, so what kind of Java version you want to select based on you can description, add the dependencies and everything you can do that. So that is the
With the
main
help of
reason.
Spring IO, we are selecting whatever things, and based on that we will get that. Right.
Right, 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 right. So, uh, in Spring Boot, you know about the differences of component, repository, and service annotation.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell?
When we say component, it is basically, I mean, in general, we would say I mean, when we say at the rate repository or at the rate surface, it is internally working as a component only. But when we say it as a, service, in terms of this Spring MVC, it is able to understand that this is the service part, and this is actual logic would be written in this service. And when we say repository, that repository at the rate repository is used where there would be some database operation would be done, and when it is a component, so it is kind of object or some Pojo related things would be there in the component. So based on those annotations, in previously we were not using those annotations. So when the person is looking at the code, he was not able to understand exactly what it is. So that annotation, it is becoming easy for us to, oh, this is the repository, this is the service, and this is the controller, and this is the component. So when we say it is a component, so at the time of when Spring Boot is loading at the rate Spring Boot application internally, it is using component scan. So it scans all the components. So what component it is used when this beans are initialized all. So that for that purpose, those uh, annotations plays important.
Okay. Um, you know about the Spring Boot annotation.
Yes.
What is role of this Spring Boot
When this
application annotation?
when it is actually starting point of the application which we are running, and internally it has three annotation. One is at the rate component scan, whatever components we are having that in that particular project or in that particular application, it is scanning all the applications, it is scanning all the components.
You just
uh,
give the only short answer, not I'm
Okay,
going
okay.
deep into
And
that.
second one, it is having at enable auto configuration. So whatever configuration we have done or whatever things we have made, so the configuration is done automatically. So with that at the rate enable auto configuration, and at the rate components can at the rate enable auto configuration. A third one I don't remember.
Configuration.
Configuration, right? Yeah, configuration. So
Okay.
it is for
Other just I'm asking few questions related to database. Hibernate. Okay. In Hibernate, what is difference between load and get method? Differences. You know,
not very sure on this. I mean,
you
I've
know
used.
about the criteria
I've
object?
not used.
Criteria object.
No, no, no.
So in database, how do you use union? What cases you will use union, union and intersection?
I mean, when we say union, when we say suppose two data sets, and from two data sets there are, I mean, from both the data sets they are duplicate. So when we say we are unioning, so we are taking unique sets, I mean not unique, we are taking all the sets where there are no duplicates. I mean in actual set we are not having any duplicates, but we are getting all the sets. Suppose in X and in Y, there are suppose 5 sets in X, 5 sets in Y. We are taking all the 10. But if there are some duplicates, though we are not considering duplicate, we are considering only one entry where we are keeping it single. So in union, we are getting all the entries except we are in case of duplicate entries, we would have only one entry in that case when we say union.
Okay. Okay, I have last question to you
Okay.
because of this is, oh sorry. Yes, yes. Sorry. Unfortunately, it got disconnected.
Okay. Okay.